Hey, 11th graders, it's Monday, April 27th, and we're on our first ACT prep class. I'm going to give you about, I don't know, 7 minutes, maybe 10, of some hints on taking the ACT science. How many of you have already taken your ACT exam? I see your hands. So you're going to experience in science charts and graphs. They look like this. Okay, that, my dear, is a science test. You'll notice at the top up there that there's a big little 4. That's because the tests are always given in this order. 1 is English, 2 is math, 3 is the reading test, and 4, the last one, is the science test. Notoriously, the science test is low. And the reason is because it is not a test of how much science that you know. So if you go on to your ACT Academy and you start playing video games or watching videos to try to beef up your knowledge of chromosomes and the DNA pattern, that's not going to help you at all on the ACT science. So don't let a commercial product fool you. If you want to improve your ACT test score or get a high score, what you're going to do is you're going to go down to Barnes & Noble or Books A Million, and you're going to buy one of these. Or you're going to order it on ACT.org. It is the official ACT prep guide. And there's a new one for 2019, 2020. Costs $35, ACT.org. Or you just go down to your bookstore and buy one. And you open it up. They got about 4 or 5 different exams. This one has 4 full-length exams. And test 4 is always science. As you can see that before that comes test 1, test 2, test 3. And they give you the answers and the explanations as to why those are the right answers. So the English test always comes first, and then comes the math test, and then comes the reading test, and then comes the science test. And that happens in here 4 times. So what I did was, I took a look at this. Can you see the charts and the graphs in here? See that deal there? See those graphs? More graphs. What I do when I take this exam is I go ahead and I briefly scan the beginning. If it's got charts and graphs, I say, praise the Lord. If it doesn't, if it has a big old narrative of reading, I say, oh man, I think I'm going to save this passage until last. And you can see that it's got a x-axis and a y-axis, x and y. You just take a brief scan as to what it is that they're plotting. You take a brief look at this thing. You don't probably even read that stuff up there unless you have to. You come back to it. What you do instead is after you make the quick scan, you go straight to the questions. All right? And if you need to, you come back and look at this stuff, and you will, because it says compare graph 1 with graph 2. Or it'll say compare table 1 with table 2. And you'll do that. So you'll be going back and forth all the time. Now, let me tell you, if you have to read a paragraph because that's all they've got is narrative, read through it quickly, skim through it, and circle salient words, words that you think might be important. And then when you come to the question, you match up the question with one of these words in the paragraph and then read the sentence again if you have to. Okay, this test is not a test of your science knowledge. It's a test of your speed reading skills, your comprehension skills, how fast the little processor works up there where the squirrels are in your head, you might not have too many megahertz processing up there. And, you know, so it might be a little rougher for you. But the difference between an ACT science score in California compared to one in Tennessee is whoever got more questions answered. Many times they leave the chips on the table. And that means that they have not played the entire hand. They have not finished all the questions. And so the person that has the most questions done is going to be the winner. Now, so that's why you've got to read quickly. You've got to evaluate quickly. You got to move fast. That's why I recommend that you do not pick an answer and then go down to your bubble sheet and bubble in the answer and then go back up to the test and try to find your place again and then go back and bubble in another answer, because that's all wasted time. Just fill out the questions in the ACT booklet. They don't care if you write in that booklet, and just write them and answer them as you go. And then fill in your answers on the ACT answer sheet. You just kind of keep an idea on your time. And when there's like 5 minutes left, it's only going to take you 2 minutes to turn all those 40 questions into an answer sheet. Not even that, 1 minute should do it. But when there's 5 minutes left, it's time for you to start picking a letter and sticking with it. Answer all the questions you didn't have, that you haven't had time to answer, with the same letter. If you jump around, oh, pick a C, then a B, then an A, then a D, you know, you're not going to get as high of a score. You got a 25% probability that if you pick and stick with the same letter, I like B or C, personally, that you're going to have a better result if you have to just willy-nilly, arbitrarily pick answers. Okay? And so then about 5 minutes to the end, you fill them all in, and then 2 minutes to the end, you take all the answers out of your booklet and put them on your answer key all at one time. And that way you don't make mistakes. Plus that way it's a whole lot quicker to get those answers on that bubble code thing. Okay, so how much do you get? How much time do you get? You get 35 minutes to do 40 questions. 35 minutes to do 40 questions. That's about 51 seconds per question. Less than a minute per question. That includes all of the evaluations of the charts and graphs and the narratives. I was wrong. It's 52 seconds. It used to be that there were 7 passages. You'll notice that this right here says passage number 1. Where does it say that? Right there. Passage number 1. And so then after that comes passage number 2. And the passage 1 has about 6 or 7 questions associated with it. And then passage number 2. That has 6 or 7 questions associated with it. Used to be that there were 7 passages, but they realized that nobody ever got done with the test. So they boiled it down to 6. And instead of having 7 passages with 5 or 6 questions on each passage, they boiled it down to 6 passages with 6 or 7 questions per passage. And that way you didn't have to study 1 extra passage, and you could get possibly done with the test. Okay? Did I tell you already that every page of the science test is labeled with the big 4s at the top? That just means it's a science test. It's not a matter of what you know, it's a matter of your test-taking skills. All right, if you get into the questions right away, if there's charts and graphs, you go straight to the questions. You can give a real quick skim, circle the y-axis, circle the x-axis, get an idea, And sometimes you have to combine. I'm going to show you this tomorrow in my 5-minute lesson tomorrow. Always check and see if I've got a video for you to watch before you go take your assignment in ACT Academy. So go into the ACT Academy now and do assignment 1 for Monday, April 27th, which happens to be 1 passage and 10 questions on that passage. Tomorrow, my talk will be shorter, and I'll have you go do 2 passages, and it'll be a total of 16 questions. Now today, I'd like for you to set your timer at 10 minutes. I'm going to give you 1 minute per question. Tomorrow, Tuesday, the 28th, I would like for you to set your timer for 15 minutes because I think there's 16 questions or 14, I can't remember. And so 15 minutes tomorrow. So 10 minutes today. Go and do that assignment, and as you take it, it'll feed your results into my class data. That way I know you're there and I can give you a grade for today's work. So I'm going to give you more information tomorrow. See ya.